After you watch this repair video, check out my Would You Buy It videos where I go to garage sales and thrift stores and try to find treasures to sell on eBay. See if you'd agree with my purchases. Alright, so this is a Hit and Missile by Tomy that I bought on eBay. They did describe it. It has the scratches, obviously, as you probably can't see, but it has scratches in it. They said it's partially working, and you're going to see that when it hits something, it does light up. The counter actually works. The timer actually works. What the problem is you can't see the missile. So let me show you that. So by luck, I got it. Okay. So as you can probably see, you're playing blind, which definitely makes it harder. So that you should be able to see the missile once it's launched go up, and then if it hits, it's supposed to light up like it does. So really, the only thing that's not working is the missile as it goes up. So I'm going to at least attempt to fix that. So to get it apart, some of it's pretty obvious. 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. But there's also at each end a piece that you have to take off. So 1, 2, and same thing at this end. 1, 2. So you got to remove those screws as well. So I pulled out 2 screws. They are slightly different than the other one, so keep them separate. And now I'm going to pull that piece right off. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. I took off 2 more screws, again from the end, and I'm going to pop that end off. It is different. Whoops. So you can see that they are different. So make sure you remember this little cutout is at the bottom. It's not quite ready to come off here for the missile control. You have a screw in that you have to take out as well. So I've loosened that screw, and I'm going to pull it straight out. So I forgot a screw. There's one more right here. Right next to the battery box. So make sure you take that one out as well. Alright, so now it should be a lot easier to pick off. You know, to take the top off, I should say. Okay, and again, you're taking the top off. And so the only thing that's not working is the thing that lights up. And I have a broken Hit and Missile that I've taken apart and tried to fix to no avail. And I can see here there's a wire, obviously, that is, going to the rocket, to the missile, I should say. It's Hit and Missile, it's not Hit and Rocket. And so I decided to take a look on the one I just got on eBay and, looked for that, looked specifically there. And what you can see is this. This wire is detached. It's coming from the missile, and it's supposed to attach approximately right here. Okay? And I can tell that. And actually, I worked on this. You're going to see there's some additional stuff here. So there it is on the open one, going from the rocket to right there. Okay? So that is my problem. So I would like to try to fix this without taking it all apart. The less I take apart, the less chance I have of doing some bad stuff to it. Alright, so what I'm doing is going to have a pair of tweezers, and I'm going to try to just pull this out. There's a little opening here, and I'm assuming that's to keep it generally in place. I want to be able to reach it so I can theoretically strip it. So that was easy enough to do. So what I'm going to do is hopefully successfully strip it, a little bit of it, so that I can reattach it. So in terms of stripping the wire, I don't want to strip a whole lot, and I want to find the right size. So obviously this is too big. Just slips in and out. So it's probably going to be the smallest size, but you don't want to start too small and actually cut the wire. I definitely don't want to cut the wire, so even that one's too small. So hopefully the smallest size will work to strip this thing, because I don't want to do it by hand if I don't have to. Actually, it's too small. All right, so since the wire stripper didn't work, what I'm going to do is try to use a knife to basically cut it off. The issue with that can be that you actually cut the wire. So we'll see. I'm putting the post-it note down just so I don't scratch the screen. And I'm also trying to do a little bit only at this point. Oh, see, I just broke the wire. So, yeah, this is going to be a challenge. The more I break off of it, the harder it's going to be to, if it gets really short, I won't even be able to connect it. So I think I got a little bit there. So it's a bunch of strands. So trying to separate as many of the strands as possible from the protect the wrap around the wire. Alright, so you can see I got a little bit there. So I'm going to cut this piece, this little extra piece of whatever off, the insulation off. Kind of twist this together. And then the question is, how am I going to connect that to where it needs to go in here? I obviously could take it apart, and I may do that. So let me take a look at that. That's probably, again, that's probably the most smartest way to do it. But again, the more I take apart, the bigger chance I'm going to break something else or not be able to get it back together. All right, so I got that taken apart one again. I'm trying to figure it out. And theoretically, the wire is supposed to be attached underneath. My ability to get to that without taking apart is probably nil. But what I notice is that must, so let me zoom in, so that wire coming from the missile must connect to this, which must connect to this. So I'm thinking I might actually take some copper tape, attach it to the wire, and then just kind of push it into this. It'll be super crude and probably would not last a long time, but it's the simplest way without connecting it. So I think that's what I'm going to try initially. If it doesn't work, I can still obviously take it apart. If it does work with any reliability, that would be much better, like I said, than taking it apart. All right, so this is the copper tape that I'm going to use. This is 1/8 of an inch wide. You can get it in all sorts of widths. This is from Adafruit website. I'm sure you can get it elsewhere. I'll put a link. What I'm going to do is simply cut a small piece and use that to, again, basically go from that piece on the board game itself to the broken wire. So at the moment, I don't have scissors, so I'm going to do, this should work, I would assume. Yeah. All right, and this is self-adhesive, I should mention. Okay. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is try to attach it to this wire. So play with it a little bit sometimes. Okay. So you can see that I started to get it unattached. I'm actually not going to unattach the whole thing because I want to leave that. And here's what I'm going to do. You're going to see I'm overlapping it. Okay. So the only place that it's actually going to connect is here. But I want to attach it to the wire itself. And now essentially I'm just going to fold the heck out of it and kind of twist it. And again, super crude. I'm sure some of you guys out here are horrified. And I got to squeeze it, really squeeze it. I'm actually going to use pliers. Okay, so that's attached to the wire. And now what I'm going to do is detach the rest of this and try to get it on that thing that I showed you in the other thing. But this right here, underneath that spring, is what I'm trying to attach this to. So here's something kind of embarrassed to admit that I didn't even figure out and I should have done. This thing was over here, right? And so I moved it closer, which gave it me much better ability to get in there actually with my fingers and push it down to where it seems. So let me go back and forth and see what happens. See if it, so it only goes back and forth a little bit. So it's not immediately falling off. All right, so what I need to do now is have some sense of whether that worked or not. So here's again the broken apart one, and I'm going to use a meter. I have it on the continuity setting, and all I know about the continuity setting, you'll see if there's a charge flowing through, it'll hit a number. So if I have something that's metal and I attach it to one side and I attach it to the other, it's going to register. If I try that with a plastic handle of a screwdriver, it won't. Okay. What I realized with playing with the broken version is this white wire actually seems to go underneath, carry through to here. So if I go here to here, there's it carries through. So you can see it went to 0, 1. So now I'm going to try to see if I can do the same thing. So from here, and there we go. All right. So you can't completely see what I'm touching, but I'm touching that spot. So it looks like we do have, the charge from the battery going through there. So it's worth a try at this point. So I'm going to at least pop the top back on and see if it works. I'm nervous that it will not. I'm going to set this, you got to set this to S, start. F is finished, so if it's not finished, it won't go. I have not screwed it back together. I held it really tightly while I put the batteries in, because if it's not working, obviously I don't want to screw it all together and then have to take it all apart. So let me turn it on. All right. I'm going to take the top off. So I looked inside and the copper wire the copper tape seems to be holding. So again, I don't know if that's a 5-minute fix, a 50-minute fix, or a 50-day fix, but it's working for the moment. All right, so I've assembled it, put it back together, put all the screws in place, and I'm going to give it a full run through. You can see it does basically work about 98%. The score works, timer works, top row seems to be quite right. It detects a hit as you would expect it to, so let me give it a shot. Show you this thing in action. And you're trying to hit the circle. It's not just the plane. I don't think I knew that as a kid. See, there's the helicopter sticking. You get more points for the second row. Yeah, that time I think I got a little lucky, actually. It's easier than I remember as a kid. Oh, I guess the tip of the missile wasn't in the right place. Oh, thought I had it. So you can see that. Yeah, that seems a little off almost. Time's about to be up. So I got 36. So again, you can see there's little bits where it kind of sticks. But it seems to work. It seems to detect it right. And it's nice to have a working hit and missile. I may look to see if I can swap out. The other screen is actually not a heck of a lot better. Got a bunch of scuffs. But we'll see. We'll see if I can find something. But hope this video might help you fix your own hit and missile. It's an awesome game. I remember playing this as a kid at lunchtime after we ate lunch, and there was nothing more radical and fun in 1979 than Tomy's Hit and Missile. Thanks for watching.